Hey, what's going on? This is Abba Jeebs, Terry Fator.
Oh, and Connie Kapila. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, Shaka. Okay. Yeah.
Well, we're here because Terry decided to join my mission. Now it's going to be our mission to save the world one uke at a time. What do you think about that?
I think it's a great idea. If I could move my arms, I would play the uke.
Well, do you think it would fit?
I think it would. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yep, we're going to have to build him one for sure. Well, what we're doing is, since the changes of public schooling, a lot of the issues they're having to go through because of resources and stuff, a lot of the music programs have been cut. And because of that, then the kids don't get the opportunities to actually try different instruments and grow and learn to be a part of the arts. So we came up with an idea to try to save the world one uke at a time, and we want to raise funds to try to buy 300 ukuleles for Hawaii first, and we're going to give these ukuleles out to kids' hospitals, community centers, and schools, and if it's successful there, we're going to try to run it up nationally. So,
Great.
Terry, I wanted to ask you a really quick question. You're a little younger than me, even though our beards fill in a little differently. When you went to school, what's your earliest memory of like any kind of music program? Were there instruments available?
Oh, of course. When I was in school, I went to a couple of my elementary schools, North Lake Elementary and Walter Floyd, and we had recorder. They had all the kids learn how to play the recorder, and then we also had music programs where you could learn. You could take piano and other guitar and other things. And personally, I don't understand. Look, I get that resources and everything, but as far as I'm concerned, learning music and learning an instrument is one of the most important things anyone can possibly do, because it really kind of stimulates that creative part of the brain. Yeah. I think it can make you a better student in every possible way. So it's obviously that's bureaucrats making decisions that don't have a clue about real life, because listen, I wouldn't be where I am right now if it hadn't been for those music classes. So I think this is a really fun thing to be a part of.
And what was the very first, your very first experience with music? Was it singing first? Was it the instrument? What?
I was definitely singing. I had a little record player. Some of you might be too young to remember record players, but I had this little record player with some 78s and some 45s, and I would put them on and listen to music. And so I started singing when I was about 2, I think. Maybe even a little earlier. And one of my first memories is singing at a church function. I was kind of standing there, and everybody was laughing and cheering, and I thought I really liked this feeling, So I was doomed for that. Yeah,
right. And did you ever pick up a musical instrument yourself?
I tried. I did play recorder because they taught it to us when I was in like the 1st and 2nd grade, and I tried to do guitar. I played a little piano. I was just never very good at instruments. I was great at my voice. I was able to use my voice to kind of make that happen, so that just became my instrument of choice. And I like to say, I always say I'm not a musician, and then people hear me sing, and even musicians will say, "Oh, you're a musician. You just use your voice as your instrument."
No, that's truth. That's the truth. I mean, for me, what happened back in the '60s at Irwin Street Elementary School, I remember my very first instrument was a violin, because the music teacher opened up this huge closet, and there was the violin, and there was a cello and a viola and all these things that all his kids can go in. And even though it was Mary Had a Little Lamb, that was my very first public exposure to music. And in the middle school were the bigger things like the jazz bands, and now we're talking late 60s, early 70s. You still opened up that closet. There were brass instruments and percussion and the drums and bass. And then eventually in high school, there was still, even in the late 70s, programs that were, all about still being able to support the kids that don't have instruments. But without a doubt, it definitely has shrunk down to nothing. And I understand, some things are changing and stuff, but
you can't cut something though that is going to be so important to the development of a person, And I feel like that whoever's making these, it's like they're cutting funding for also, and they're saying no more recess, and it's like, gosh, we can't figure out why our kids are getting fatter.
That's a very good point.
Is that a joke about me?
No, it's not. Hey, Connie, do you play any instruments?
Oh yes, I'm proficient in the microwave oven.
The microwave?
Yeah, and I'm really good with a knife and a fork too.
Okay.
So maybe
That's
you play the
it,
spoons. Yeah. Have you ever tried to play the spoons, Connie?
No, I can play the spoon by putting it in my mouth and eating.
Right. So that's what he does. So.
Oh, that was good. That threw me off. Okay, so but that's where it is. I mean, I think you and I both can agree that being in the arts also helps with solution, coming up with solutions. If you learn 3 chords, even in our song, C, F, and G, 3 very basic chords, you could write 500 different songs in so many different ways. And it is a very creative thing. So the dopamine, the I can achieve things, I can write things, I can do things on my own, I can build my own songs. It's such a rewarding feeling, and by cutting out this program.
But I love doing this because, see, for me, I'm also a person who doesn't believe that it's the government's responsibility to take care of us. I feel like it's our responsibility to take care of society and take care of our kids, and so therefore, when the government takes away, teaching a musical instrument, then I think it's time for us to buckle ourselves in and say, all right, we're going to teach kids music. Because
Absolutely.
the kids need the music. They need the learning and the training. And so, if the government's not going to do it, we'll do it ourselves. That's how.
Terry, I could not have put that any better, because we are at an age where, we have become kind of bloated and waiting for things to happen for us. And I think we're now at a time period in the history of our world where turning to our citizens, turning to ourselves, or philanthropic and coming together and finding ways for us to assist our communities is paramount now.
Yeah.
Well,
it's about individuals making choices to do what's right for the groups and do what's right for other people, and that's what I feel like this is all about. Is if the government's not going to teach our kids instruments, then we're going to make sure the kids learn the instruments, and we're going to make that happen. And we appreciate all the people that help with this as well, because that's what we're all about, is kind of making sure that these kids can grow. I think a musical instrument not only helps you to grow physically, but it helps you to grow mentally and spiritually in every possible way that a human being needs to grow. A musical instrument can help provide that, and really can help enhance that. So it's incredibly important.
Well, it's also an amazing form of expression. If there are a lot of kids out there that feel like they might feel alone, maybe they're being bullied in school, or they have other challenges, maybe challenges even at home, and when you can run away with an instrument and you can create music, even something as simple as the ukulele, and why, for me, my personal love with the ukulele started a little late in my professional career, but I was asked to compose a film score strictly with ukulele and strings for a film called The Haumana, and I became more and more in love with this instrument, and then I realized, because I have 3 little grandkids, there was a time when they were getting all fussy, and I pulled out the ukulele and I played a few chords, and they came alive.
Oh,
you just sometimes forget when you're in the business.
Yeah, you take away music, and I think we as a species die. So I think you really have to have that.
And those who agree say yay. But that's exactly it is the truth. And so what I've kind of thought about, and what you and I have been talking about, is the ukulele being such a great gateway instrument.
100%.
It's first of all, it's very intimate. It's right here, close to your heart. Number 2, this is a tenor uke, but the ones that we're going to be buying for the kids is soprano, a little smaller. So even your fingers you can probably wrap around and grab this. There it is, C chord.
I can do it.
But even as easy as one finger is now you have a C chord, and it's easy for the kids from 4 to 94 years old. You can play the ukulele. And
didn't a young lady? I think she was 12 when she won America's Got Talent this year. Grace Vanderwall.
Yes, how
with
cool
a
is
ukulele,
that?
and you can see how creative she is with the ukulele. It's like she really does these amazing creations with this instrument, and she obviously has small hands because she's a young girl.
Yeah.
And did incredible things and won America's Got Talent, which, by the way, is my claim to fame. In case you're not familiar,
Yay.
I won America's Got Talent in 2007. I was the second winner, and so I'm very excited about this project. I think it's wonderful.
And I'm glad you brought up Grace too, because something that's wonderful about Grace is that she's expressing herself so well with the ukulele, but also as a songwriter. If you remember, her song is not a traditional written song, not like a hook, and it's got. She just expressed purely from here, and people felt it.
Music is about emotion, and human beings are emotional creatures. We're full of emotions, and really, what a songwriter is a poet that is reflecting how we feel through words and music, and the music can be so important to helping us to express our emotions. Also, it's a wonderful therapy. If you have a lot of issues and problems, and your life feels like it's caving in around you, which I don't know if many of the people out there know my upbringing, but I'd say I've had a very difficult upbringing. A lot of people don't make it through an upbringing like what I had, and yet music was my saving grace. It's really what kept me sane, and writing music and performing music and listening to music. So this can also be very therapeutic for those who are, you know, struggling with some issues in life.
There's so many reasons for music. I don't even know how to reformulate what you just said into something any more stronger than that. What you just said was complete truth. It is an ultimate therapy. Anybody who listens to music already is formulating a soundtrack of their life. Mm-hmm. You know, when we get older, we listen to the songs that remind us of how good things were when we were younger, or as we get older, our tastes change. The soundtrack of our life changes through music and everything. And what we represent as professionals in the industry and people who love to do it, there's no two ways about it. We are the lesson, the teachers of tomorrow's music by doing projects like this.
Absolutely.
And bringing people into the fold. So let's talk a little bit really quick about what the Abba Jeebz mission is with Terry Fator.
Okay.
And I believe what I love about what we're doing is that we're going to be giving these ukes away.
Yeah.
And we're going to start off small. You know, we're going to see if we can buy 300 ukuleles for Hawaii. And we're going to do community centers and maybe the kids' hospitals for recovery, kind of a pseudo Patch Adams kind of a thing. I'm not quite Patch Adams even, to show up and play for the kids and then give the kids the ukuleles. And then hopefully after we're done with that, we'll go national with this and continue to just constantly fundraise.
That's wonderful. I love the idea. So.
And like I said, I think the most important thing is that we spread the aloha through the ukulele. And the word aloha is love. And you know, ukulele represents just such a beautiful sound of music. You know, it's got kind of that harp kind of a vibe. And it's also very, like I said, intimate, easy for the kids to carry around. And of course, there's YouTube. I mean, how many places now? I mean, I kind of wish I was a kid in today's day and age, because you can just turn on YouTube now. You can sit there and how to do riffs and how to do things.
It teaches you everything. It's incredible.
So you don't have an excuse about saying, well, you know, I don't have a teacher. As a
ventriloquist, you know, when I was a kid, it was impossible to find places that would teach you how to do ventriloquism and puppets and other things. And now you just get on the internet and it's all right there. It's fantastic.
I know. I feel somewhat ripped off, but I feel like, okay, we've carved ourselves through it. You know, we went through the hard knocks of learning how to do things. But because of YouTube now, there is no barrier to entry in learning how to play the uke. And,
absolutely.
And you can just look it up. There's so many great lessons. Of course, I have lessons that are up there. And that the song that we're giving away, that Terry and his team wrote with Pete and John. I did a couple little things on the track. But the song is called Jump, and it's actually a song about the ukulele and why it's called an ukulele. And we're going to be giving that song away for free. And also, I'm going to be teaching a video lesson on how to play that song.
Excellent.
And that we're going to give away for free. And so now moving forward into the actual fundraising aspect of it, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be asking for fundraising, not donations, but funds. And our first goal is 300 ukuleles. These ukuleles are not, they're going to be purchased at a kind of pseudo retail cost. I'll show you what the ukes are and what they look like so that you see what we're buying for the kids. And then that mark, once we hit that mark, then we're going to go ahead and move forward onto a national level, maybe partner up with some bigger companies like maybe Holland Opus Foundation. I think, is that what it is? The Opus Holland? I'm sorry, my bad. Hang on. We'll fix that in a minute. And move forward. So what we'd like for you to do is go ahead and give us a donation of anything that you possibly can. It's all going to be going towards these ukuleles. And we will be keeping track of where the ukuleles go, because we're going to have the kids to get them and the schools to get them to do videos on what they've learned as well.
Beautiful.
So,
and let me just say, for those of you who are considering possibly donating to this, you know, you're not just donating to buy ukulele or ukulele. I think that's
ukulele.
Yeah, get it right. Okay. So, but just to say that you know, when you donate to this project, you are buying health, happiness, and healing to a child who may not find any other outlet for those things. And that's really what the gift of music is going to do for these people. It's there's all kinds of benefits in so many more ways than just providing a musical instrument to a child who can't afford one or who needs one for whatever. it can really make a difference and change a person's life. So we just want to let you know that that what you're doing is something that will last forever on this planet and will make the world a better place.
I don't know what else to say to that. That was absolutely perfect. So yes, that's what we are trying to achieve with this mission. Connie, do you have any last words about how important, how wonderful it is that we're doing this?
Absolutely. I'm hungry. When do we eat?
Alrighty, well, this is Abba Jeebs, Terry Fator, Connie Capilla. Super mahalo so much for your time and for your donations. We really appreciate it.
A very special thing to be. Just 3 chords is all you need, and you can be a jumping flea. Jump.